I personally, I don't know. Probably a super fast like elves, maybe. I mean,
I'm sure
Storm. I don't know what's bad. I mean, he has Spell Stutter Spread. He has Misstep. He has Force of Will. I mean, so probably he's good against combo. Maybe super aggressive decks like Goblins. I have no clue.
I mean, I'm sure in his head, Conley thinks he can't lose to anybody. But I'm trying to figure out like what matchup would be bad. Like, could he be Dredge? Like, would be Dredge pretty bad for him? Probably.
Depends what the sideboard is.
Yeah, depends on sideboard. The Spell Stutter Sprites, I was talking to him. He's like, with 4 Stifles and 4 Spell Stutter Sprites,
Yeah.
Hivebind is really easy because they can't deal with Sprite very well. They can't deal with Stifle very well.
Can you counter your? Oh, you can just counter your copy.
You can just counter your copy with Sprite that doesn't get countered, and Stifle you target your trigger. Granted, they can target their trigger too, but either way, you're not going to die. So. I love Conley's confidence. It's great. You can just tell that he's excited to play this deck. He feels like he can't lose to anybody, and that's one of the things I love about his personality. So
when he plays really good decks, like he's on.
I remember when we played the Blue Black Defensive Persecutor deck. We were just so excited about playing that deck.
Oh, you played it with him?
Yeah, we both made top 3 too. Of that
tournament?
Grand Prix Houston. So it was a crazy little deck, but this excitement around that deck was like, this deck's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna win it. You know, like you play your Pistol Persecutor, you feel so powerful.
So you played that deck when you could have played Cobblade?
Oh, sorry.
Was Houston?
No. Sorry. I mean, the Ninja of the Deep Hours was Persecutor deck from Extended last year.
Oh, okay. I don't
in
remember.
a GP Dallas. Sorry. Or
I don't remember.
Dallas
we were
was
in
this
Texas
year.
for some GP.
Dallas was this year. It was Austin last year, or Houston.
Okay.
Houston last year. That's what it was.
Okay.
GP Houston. It was the weekend of Easter, so it was like an 800-person GP
Oh,
or
I remember.
something like that.
Adam Yurchik won.
Yeah, Yurchik won with Dark Depths, and yeah, we
Okay,
screwed
so
up the blue
another
black
question:
deck.
you played that instead of Dark Depths?
I mean, we smashed Dark Depths. It was a really good matchup.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was actually a really good matchup for us. I lost to Scape Shift twice, and like a Stoneforge Mystic deck. I was like, Stoneforge Mystic? Why is he playing this Sword of Feast and Fat or Sword of Finest and Stoneforge? That's so weird. Why would anybody do this?
Yeah.
Then, you know, obviously now.
I mean, the funny thing about
like,
Stoneforge Mystic is there were so many decks. Like we played 2 copies at PT San Diego. Conley played a copy in Oakland.
Yeah.
Like there was decks
He was ahead of the curve.
You know, even Craig Wesco had 4 copies of his deck, and like every time someone played that card, they were doing really well. And it took until like, 3 months ago to realize that you just play 4 of it and you win all the time.
Yeah. You just play, especially with swords, like all the good equipment you can cheat into play.
Yeah, even before all the good swords.
Like cheating Basilisk Collar, I mean that's kind of interesting. But like you put sword into play, it's pretty.
Yeah, Behemoth Sledge. I mean,
Behemoth Sledge. Yeah. I played the Naya deck and it was insane.
The Naya deck was so good that tournament.
I played so I didn't play for San Diego, but last year for regionals, after Vengevine just came out, I played Jerry T's Naya deck at regionals, and that deck is unbelievably powerful. And Stoneforge Mystic, a big secret to the success there. Get Behemoth Sledge or just finding your Basilisk Collar is really good. So here are our deck lists.
So
we have Conley. Come on, Conley.
We have Conley Woods.
Yeah, Conley.
All right, so we're just going to give you guys the rundown of his whole deck list. He's got 4 Aven Mind Sensors, 4 Spell Stutter Sprite, 4 Stoneforge, 3 Click, Vendilion Click, 1 Feast and Famine, 1 Batterskull, 3 Swords to Plowshare, 4 Stifle, 4 Brainstorm, 4 Mental Misstep, only 3 Force of Wills.
Yep. Some people have done that only 3 because they don't want to have the card disadvantage in the main deck. It's not good in all the matchups. There are some matchups like Zoo, you don't want it. Most aggressive decks you don't. You really only want it in control and or against combo and some control decks.
Huh. And then 2 Jason Mind Sculptors.
2 Jason. He probably has the 4th one in the sideboard.
Yeah, he does have a Force Will on the sideboard.
Yeah.
He's got 2 Peacekeeper. I don't even know what Peacekeeper is.
Okay, so Peacekeeper is a blowout. It is white 2 for a 1/1, and you have to pay white or a white every turn or it dies, but creatures can attack. So if you play it against Merfolk, some of them just have literally no outs.
And then what do you just wait until you like Jace advantage or something?
Yeah, you just Jace them out. Yeah. So Merfolk can't beat it. Some dredge decks can't beat it effectively.
I mean,
so.
can't they like soar it and then let it die?
They could soar it and let it die, but I mean, they've like 1 or 2 soars.
Sure.
They might have like a GT counter, but it's pretty unlikely. And you use by so much time with it, it's insane.
What's Serenity? Besides the ship.
It's a 1 and a white, and it's an enchantment, and at the beginning of your upkeep, destroy all enchantments and artifacts. So it waits a turn, and then it blows itself up and along with everything else. So it's like a delayed, I believe it's...
But it's super powerful against some decks.
Yeah. It gets like Affinity or Enchantress or something.
Okay.
Or artifacts and champions, and they can't be regenerated. That's what I was looking at.
Sweet.
So that's what
And then, so what's his opponent?
So Conley on your right, of course, versus Dylan McDonald.
Oh, sweet.
Now, do you know who Dylan is?
Yeah, of course. I've known him for years.
Really? That's
just,
cool.
Just randomly at nationals and things like that.
Well, he's Canadian, so.
Well, he came down for like our JSS's like 3 years ago.
Oh, yes, yeah. So Dylan McDonald is a Canadian from Vancouver. I know him. People went PTQs all the time. Went to the Pro Tour not too long ago. And he's playing Zoo. Grim Lawmancer, Noble Hierarch, Pride Mage, Schneider Reliquary, Nikadal, Tarmogoyf.
There's a tropical island.
So what do you think that means?
I think it means he has some Jaces, some brainstorms.
It's mental missteps.
You were talking about this deck earlier.
I was getting to that point. Yeah, so he's playing the Caleb Durward Blue Zoo deck. We called it Aquarium last week.
Aquarium.
And so it's just Zoo, except why not just play the blue cards too? So Brainstorm, Mental Misstep, and Jason the Mind Sculptor. And Caleb ended up winning the tournament, kind of winning, losing in the finals, however you ever want to look at it. Co-champion.
I don't believe in co-champions. Someone won, someone lost.
Well, he lost the Manless Dredge deck in the games he played. Manless Dredge deck conceded to him. So Dylan with Tarmogoyf there. Conley Woods, of course, playing his blue-white LD control deck. I'm Gavin Verhey with Brad Nelson, and this is round 3 of the Star City Games Open Series Legacy portion.
We got an awesome feature match here.
Yeah, this is a pretty awesome feature match. We wanted to see Conley Woods, and our pleas were answered by the feature match pairing lord, Glenn Jones. So
Conley's gonna be Stoneforge Mysticine, probably getting Bad Skull. He's got a couple Force of Wills behind to protect it.
Yep.
There's a Swords.
Swords on the Tarmogoyf.
And it's really interesting because normally you can just Swords without fear, but against the Zoo deck that has blue, they have mental missteps, so you have to be careful. Jeremy Noel would like to make it known that he made sure that there's a feature match this round.
I'm just going to give props to Glenn anyway.
So, Swords of Plowshares on the Tarmogoyf, they're figuring out exactly how much life is gained. Should be 1.
Yeah, it's not just the land.
Is there a land in the graveyard?
Yeah.
I guess I can't see D-Max.
Oh, how much
graveyard.
do you get? Is it on power or toughness that you get?
I guess with swords it's power, isn't it? I know condemn isn't. Yeah, it's power. So
yeah, just 1.
Yeah. So is there a land in the graveyard though?
Yeah.
It's just off screen. He cracked his fetch land. That's right. They're trying to figure out if it looks in other zones. I think probably.
If it grabs like, what zone?
I mean.
So you're saying like the sword should count itself?
No. Like if you swords a Tarmogoyf, it has a type setting ability or a power toughness setting ability. So like once it's exiled, does it still look at what power toughness look at? Is it 1/1 or 0/1, or does it look at all the graveyards? The way it works, by the way, for those who don't know, it used to be that, for example, Broodstar was always a 0/0 in your deck.
Yeah.
Now it is in your deck. It's however big the artifacts you have in play are.
Okay.
So I think what Dylan's trying to ask is, once Tarmogoyf is removed, does it still look at what's in the graveyard for gaining life purposes towards Plowshares? It's completely irrelevant. I think he just has the ruling wrong. Yeah. And he's just trying to fool around, maybe, or doesn't know exactly what's going on.
He should just gain 1.
He should be gaining 1 life. Okay, and there's Conley Lou's Graveyard is at the top of his deck.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't see it before.
I mean, obviously, when you get into a situation with like a Magnivore, and you there's 3 sorcerers in the graveyard, and you go to Volcanic Hammer it, it'll go up to 4, it'll survive.
Correct.
But that's because it's still in play. It shouldn't work like that with the Tarmogoyf.
Right, I mean,
swords.
Right, the way it works is you swords a Tarmogoyf, and then it gets exiled, and then they gain life, then swords goes to the graveyard. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably what Dylan was asking about.
Yep.
One of those 2, probably that one.
So that's just it. The Stoneforge for Batterskull. Pretty innovative there for Conley.
Let's see.
Oh, does he not have? I thought he had a force, but he just has Brainstorms.
Let's see.
Oh no, he does have a force. There's a blue card that looks red, so.
That can only be one thing. I mean, Brainstorm also looks kind of red, but... Alright, so there's the swords on the Mystic. No lollygagging this time around, and Conley Woods just gains 1 life. And...
Takes 1 life.
Takes 1 from the Noble Hierarch, evens out. D-Mac, not a lot going on there for him.
Missed the land drop. And didn't play anything. Do you think he's stuck on a Jace right now?
Yeah, that's the danger of the Zoo deck is
Stoneforge number 2.
Forecasting cost stuff. And there's Stoneforge number Dose. And Dylan's going to Brainstorm in response. Not something you expect out of the Zoo deck sometimes.
Does he run Force as well?
No, Misstep, Brainstorm, Jace.
Okay.
And he only has 3 missteps. I was actually walking by. Conley was just built this deck this morning, as you know, I would expect nothing less. And I walked by the table, and we were just talking about the deck. And the way Conley builds decks, he just pulls out a pile of legacy cards.
Oh, and just dumps them on the table.
Dumps them on the table, just looks through the ones, finds one he wants, puts them in the deck. And I'm actually not joking. This is actually how I built this deck.
Yeah, this is how it happens.
Like, he has an idea in mind, obviously, but he just throws cards in he thinks are good. And
Conley's a pretty interesting guy.
yeah, he's pretty awesome. By interesting, you mean awesome, then yes, I agree with you.
I'm going to stick with interesting.
So he goes to find Sword of Feast and Famine.
So now he's just stocked up on a bunch of equipment.
That was the big debate we were having earlier when he was building his deck, actually, is do you think he can only play one sword? Do you think Feast and Famine or Fire and Ice is better?
It just depends on what you're weaker against between Merfolk and Tarmogoyf. I really think, like, if you can't battle through a Tarmogoyf, I think you need the pro-green. I think it's really important. And if you're decent against Merfolk, that's the only reason I would want pro-red, because Fire and Ice is just really good against Merfolk. Right. But Fire and Ice does nothing against, like, a Zoo or a Tarmogoyf or a lot of decks where getting through the damage. Plus, like, you have Spell Setter Sprites and Vendilion Clicks, so you sometimes when your opponent taps out, you can maybe even, like, equip, attack, untap, and have mana up to do something else.
All right, and Dylan goes for Swords on the Mystic, and Conley mental missteps it.
I want him to misstep back. Misstep back.
So the other thing about Conley's deck, too, is he plays a lot of instant speed, and so untapping your lands is really important, too.
I just love the idea of, like, well, I mean, this doesn't really look like an aggressive. This kind of looks more like a band deck. Right now he's playing it like
it really is
band
banned with red.
Yeah.
I mean, we call it Aquarium or Zoo, but really it's banned with red. But it's a neat deck, regardless.
I just want to see him, counter back. I love the idea of, like, aggressive decks countering back.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite decks has always been the, like, blue aggro decks that'll go, like, Isamaru, Hand of Honor, untap with Mana Leak in your hand. Like, Unified Will in Block Constructed was, like, one of my favorite cards once I figured it out.
So
love building decks like that. Larry Swayze's blue-green Vengevine deck, always been a fan of that deck, too.
So what is Dylan talking about now?
Now they're talking about Swords to Plowshares and
what they're doing later tonight.
Yeah, it's unclear. It's more Swords to Plowshares craziness. Dylan is not quite clear on how Swords to Plowshares works, I think. All right, he's got another Swords on that Mystic in response to the first one.
I think Conley's going to brainstorm.
Yep, likely he's going to try and find another misstep. Yeah, I wonder what that discussion about Swords was about. Dylan's actually a pretty tight technical player. He's plays in Vancouver a lot, and like I said, play him a lot in PTQs.
He really likes trying to be as good as he can. I've always known that about him. He just, like, works really hard at Magic, and he just wants to break out on the Pro Tour and do the best he possibly can.
Yeah,
so.
he qualified for Amsterdam, I believe, and there's a brainstorm from Conley Woods. He qualified for Amsterdam, I believe, and he didn't do so hot there, but he's has a Pro Tour experience, done well at Canadian Nationals.
Okay.
So
Conley just took 3 lands.
Yeah, 3 straight lands. One of them was a fetch land though, so
you can get rid of one of them.
Get rid of one of the lands, plus another brainstorm in Conley's hand. Yep. Means he might be able to get rid of 2 if that's what he's in the mood for.
But I mean, even at this position though, like, Dylan's not doing anything aggressive. And
I agree.
He's wasted so many swords on these Stoneforges. Like, what's he gonna do when a Batterskull hits? We're actually just gonna get to the point where he just plays the Batterskull.
Yeah, he just hard cast it for 5.
Oh, and going back to the sword debate between Feast and Famine, and I just like the ability of untapping and having protection from the green.
Yeah. I mean, Owen Turnwald played sort of Body and Mind at the GP and made top 8, but I talked to Conley about that, and he said he didn't want that because it's not so good in his game plan.
Oh, and Owen also said that it was terrible.
Oh. Well, that's also a good reason not to play sort of Body and Mind. I remember he didn't really test that out so much, and he must have regretted it then.
Yeah, he regretted it instantly. Because even though the protections are good, both the abilities are irrelevant.
Yeah, there's light years beneath like pretty much all the other swords. I think it's probably the weakest sword, I would imagine, just on abilities. I mean,
for sure.
Light and Shadow. I mean, you can make an argument for that.
It's really ridiculous though, and limited.
Oh yeah, for sure. And of course, we're talking about the sword as being this weak card. It's obviously still a very good card, but. Light and Shadow, depending on your deck, can be worse.
I think Light and Shadow in this meta game is worse.
Yes, I agree. Especially with the way you build decks, right? Like your 4 Stoneforge 3 click deck, your Light and Shadow just isn't as good. So Conley cracks the fetch land here. But ranking the swords is interesting. If you guys have a ranking of the swords, we'd love to know which one you think is the best, which one's second best. Tell us on Twitter. Brainstorm for Conley Woods. Looks like he draws Misstep, Stifle. Saw a white card there. Was it Swords? I think it might have been Swords.
Another Swords doesn't seem like too bad, especially since there's a Casali Pride Mage in play for the Batterskull.
Yep, want to make sure you get that Pride Mage off the table.
I think, by far, I think the most powerful one is Feast and Famine in all history. Just being able to do what it does is just unfair.
Yeah, I mean, Sword Fire and Ice is certainly good, but untapping all your lands is it's just not a one-mana effect.
Mm-hmm. All right, so 4 damage comes in. Plowshares takes it away. But he's only going to gain 2. He's probably doing it. Triggers on the stack right now.
Going to go be a farming cat. All right, and Conley's going to misstep that Brainstorm. So Conley went for Swords, Dylan went for Brainstorm, Conley went for Misstep, and I don't think Dylan has anything else to fire back.
No.
So Dylan's board position has just been annihilated this game. He's not been able to get anything together.
Yeah.
This blue-white deck is just crushing Dylan McDonald.
And sitting with a couple equipment in hand.
Yeah, I think we're...
Oh, there's Conley Stifle doing nothing.
Might see Batterskull come down this turn.
All right, so he puts that land back that he brainstormed, shuffles away another one, and now he's just going to get the Batterskull in play.
Yeah, now we're going to have Batterskull, and if Dylan doesn't have anything, if he doesn't top deck Pride Mage, basically, I think the game is over. Or not.
He only has 1 left.
Fundamentally over, probably. Yeah, Dylan only playing 2 Quasi Pride Mages.
I mean, a Jace could definitely do some damage.
Jace is... Alright, well, yeah, there comes a Batterskull. And puts the Germ token on it. And passes back to Dylan McDonald. Yeah, it just shows you how powerful Batterskull is. I mean, even cast for 5, it's still a great card. Now, I think it's fair. It's very fair
right now
Mystic.
because it was a free card, and they've been fighting over other things, so it looks way more powerful right now than it really should be in Legacy most of the time for 5.
Right, I mean, you're not...
But that's just how a blue-white deck's going to take the game.
Right. I mean, it could be, you know, a Sarah Angel would probably still be pretty threatening right now, you know. And there's Feast and Famine for Conley Woods. Ooh. Resolves, attack, takes 6, untap.
Untap and say go.
Stuart Tolkien and Eric Lee. Your standings will be posted on the draft.
All right.
Okay, so maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I just heard on there Mike Long.
What's that?
Did I hear Mike Long?
No, Brian Wong.
Brian Wong. Okay, I thought I heard Mike Long.
Brian Wong is one of the best drafters I've ever met. He lives here in Seattle.
Wow.
Really great guy. He actually paid through his college a couple years only
I heard about
drafting.
that. That's
and
insane.
it's insane considering that you said like earlier doing that's basically impossible.
Yeah, it is. I can't do it. I mean, I definitely break even, if not make a little bit, but like to actually pay for like rent from college seems unreal.
And of course, another person. Let's see. Brainstorm gets Spellstutter sprited. Another name in there, Marshall Sutcliffe of Limited Resources on the Community Cup team this year. Huge force on Twitter. Is a limited player. So I know a lot of people have been asking for updates on how he's doing. He's in the top 8 of the first draft open. Going into the pod now. All right, so Dylan peeks at his top card, see if there's anything there, and he just picks him in, packs him up.
All right, so what do you think Conley's going to be doing for sideboarding in this matchup?
All right, so let's look at Conley's sideboard. He's got 2 Peacekeepers. I don't think you want those here.
No.
They're just going to die really easily.
And they won't do anything, yeah.
Right. Disenchant, no. Path to Exile is the card he's going to be bringing in.
Yeah.
The 4th Swords he's going to be bringing in. Serenity, no. Relic, no. Force, no. Crypt, no. Fire and Ice, I don't think so. Unless we think Fire and Ice is better than Feast and Famine in this matchup. It seems like the pro green could be really relevant for getting through guys. Although Dylan does have Jace in his deck, so letting your guys not get Jace could be relevant.
Yeah. So do you think he's going to want his Stifle Aven Mind Sensor package? I mean, I guess he played them, so I guess he's probably still going to want them.
I mean, against Zoo, if they're using a lot of fetch lands, that's a pretty good deck to have it against. It's a little slow, granted, but especially when Dylan is trying to get up to 4 mana for Jace, something to consider. The card that I think is going to come out for sure is probably Force of Will.
Oh, really? It's just not good at all?
Yeah, against Zoo, you normally take your Force of Wills out.
Oh, wow, I didn't. All the time, huh?
I mean, not always. There are times that we want to keep it in, and this is Aquarium, not normal Zoo, so there's Jaces to be considered.
You don't really want to get behind on Jace advantage.
Right, but 2 for 1ing yourself against Zoo is not exactly the most exciting proposition in the world. I think Force is a sacred cow for a lot of people. They don't want to cut it, but it's surprisingly just not good in a lot of matchups, which is why Conley's only running 3 here, for example. In Providence, a couple players you might really respect, like Sam Black, AJ Soccer, some of those guys also only ran 3 Force of Wills in their deck for similar reasons.
And a deck that was running blue that didn't even have any Force of Wills won the tournament.
Right. And same thing in second place for that matter too.
Yeah.
I mean, Hive Mind, no Force of Wills. So I think he'll probably cut his 3 forces. Stifle. I mean, I never really liked the LD plan against Zoo. I felt like it was really unreliable. You draw your Stifles late, it sucks. You draw your Mind Sisters late, it sucks. But it's also Conley Woods, and we know he loves an LD spell.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll leave the Stifles in. If you draw enough of them, hit their fetch lands early, it can be pretty brutal. The way that works is the fetch lands are an activated ability. So if they go land, and then you go land, and they go crack, so you stifle, and there's down a land. He's gonna want his Batter Skull. Maybe Feast of Famine swaps for Fire and Ice. Not sure what
He's
happens
definitely
there.
keeping Feast of Famine. Tarmogoyf. I mean, that's the reason that you want Feast of Famine.
I agree. I mean, I think Feast of Famine is better than Sword of Fire and Ice in this matchup in general. Sprite is good in this matchup. Mystic is good. Click, maybe you can move a couple copies, but trading with Wall and Conley, more importantly, battling Jace seem really important in this matchup.
No, I think he's going to want his clicks.
So if Conley's bringing in 3 cards, I think we're just going to see a swap for Force of Wills.
That's interesting. I mean, I definitely can see that, though. That makes sense.
Like, you take out your 2-for-1s and bring in your 1-for-2s and bring in your 1-for-1s. Seems fine to me.
So let's talk about Dylan's sideboard.
So the sweet card in Dylan's sideboard that I love is one that Caleb Durward had last week, and that's Tower of the Magistrate. Do you know what that does, Brad?
Not a clue.
It's okay.
Sounds like something from Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly. It's something don't worry. A lot of players don't know what this does. I know what it does because I owned one when I was much younger, one of my first cards. But Tower of the Magistrate, it's a land. Taps for colorless mana. It's from Arcadian Masks. And it says 1 tap, target creature gains protection from artifacts this turn. Now, it's not that exciting, except you target your opponent's creatures. So if they Valorant Batterskull, you target the germ dies, Batterskull unequips. Basically, equipment can never get active while you power and play. And so you can knight it up as a land, and then you just target their creatures. It's really neat.
That's really techy.
So
I like it.
Batterskull doesn't work. Your swords can't equip. It's great stuff. Gaddock Teague. Maybe we see Teague. It shuts off Jace the Mind Sculptor. If they have the hard cast Batterskull, it doesn't work out.
I mean, but he has Jace too. He's not going to bring that in.
Right. A Phyrexian Metamorph, probably not.
Interesting.
Throw in the Last Roll, something we would probably see in this matchup, I think.
Yeah, it seems really good against everything that Conley has.
Yeah, I think Thrun has got to be good here. Red Elemental Blast, Reb, something we could maybe see in this matchup. Counters back their stuff.
His own Aven Mind Sensors.
What's that?
His own Aven Mind Sensors.
Yeah, 2 of his own Aven Mind Sensors if he wants to get some revenge on Conley and censor him a little bit. Although I don't think Mind Sensors that good in this matchup, but it's interesting to know that he has them. Submerge, no Forest, and Conley's deck not bringing those in. Ancient Grudge, I don't think he's going to want Ancient Grudge either. So I think we'll likely see the Tower come in, along with the Thrun, maybe some Red Elemental Blast probably, so that's up to 5 cards. The cards that come out...
Lightning Bolt doesn't seem that great. I mean, no, it actually seems fine.
I mean, depends a little bit. First of all, he doesn't know Conley's list, which is one thing.
Yeah.
Conley has, 15 creatures, and they can all be Lightning Bolted. The bigger thing is, bolting down a Mystic is pretty important. Because if they go turn to Mystic, you don't want to be able to answer it. Not sure what else you would move, yeah. I mean, I guess Swords is Swords better than Mystic? Swords better than Bolt. In this matchup, actually, Bolt is the better card, but Dylan doesn't know that. You gotta get Batterskull too, I guess, but... So I think you probably end up cutting one of those 2 cards, some of your removal cards. And cut those 4 cards and bring in 4 cards, maybe cut something else if you want the 5th card. So this is an interesting debate. Don't say something interesting here, Brad. If you play Dryad Arbor in your deck, you write in the lands or the creatures?
I mean, I would put it in the lands.
I'd put it in the lands too. Dylan has it in the creatures.
But it is a land creature, though.
It is a land creature. So it can go in either one. It's very complicated. And so he has the Dryad Arbor in his creatures pile. That's pretty interesting. That is a stylistic...
Big debate. What would you guys do?
That's a stylistic choice right there. I'm just saying. A stylistic choice means that he's thinks of it as a creature. Patrick Sullivan just walked by. He has 2-1 so far.
Yeah, I lost round 1 to Painter Servant, 1 round 2 against Zoo, and round 3 against No Rug.
So it looks like Patrick lost against Painter Servant in the first round, but after that took down No Rug and Zoo.
Yep.
So playing his mono red burn deck. See if we can get there this weekend. Round 1 loss is not going to keep Patrick Sullivan down. So So yeah, I think Dylan probably should have 4 of his removal spells, maybe a 5th removal spell, depending on what he wanted to do. Maybe he could cut a creature too. It's not completely sure. Some results on Twitter for the sword discussion. Jason Cooks ranks them Feast, Fire and Ice, War and Peace, Body and Mind, Light and Shadow. That's also how Cody Crossman ranks them. Or actually, no, Cody has the last 2 flipped. Do you feel that that's about the right?
I think War and Peace used to be strong, but I don't think we're going to see War and Peace do much anymore. I think it's probably the weakest sword. It was great in the Cobblade Mirrors that time.
For very specific reasons.
For very specific reasons, but now I just don't think it's going to do anything. And like you think of like what they do in like every format, EDH, where a lot of these swords see a ton of play.
Right.
And even at Legacy, Extended, maybe I mean, who knows what's going to happen when Modern comes out?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
That
exactly.
might shift them around a little.
Yeah. I mean, totally. I mean, if Cobblade is a deck, which it 100% is, War and Peace could gain a lot of value. Although I don't think those decks are going to be necessarily Squadron Hawking. Although in Extended by the end of the season, they were playing Squadron Hawks last year. So I mean, maybe we'll see Squadron Hawks. It's hard to know.
I mean, mostly Kibler was playing Squadron Hawks because he always plays it.
I mean, in the online PTQs, people were Squadron Hawking and winning.
With what deck?
With Blue White Stoneforge.
Oh, were they?
And Extended.
Oh, they added Squadron Hawks at the end of the season.
Yeah, Squadron Hawks showed up at the end of the season, winning a couple PTQs.
Crazy.
So, yeah, it just turned into the standard deck by the end of the year.
Yeah, it was just a standard deck.
Yeah.
What did they run outside of standard?
I mean,
Cryptic Command?
They had Cryptic Command. They had Mystic Gate, Mutavault.
Okay, so lands.
Mutavault. I mean, that's a big one.
Mutavault's a big one.
Trying to think what else.
I mean, I play tested the blue-white deck for a while. I was playing it on Moto, mostly because I just love the deck.
A couple Path to Exile. That's the other big one, probably. Looks like Conley is taking a mulligan here.
Conley's taking a mulligan. Dylan looks happy that he is.
Yeah, Dylan does not like this matchup, is what it looks like. So. Let's see what Conley draws. It seems like 6-carder with this deck can still do a lot of work. Stoneforge Mystic, if unanswered, is just so powerful.
Yeah, and Brainstorm Jace.
Brainstorm Jace. Especially he's on the draw, too. Have some time to recover. Dylan, of course, might just have a fast start. We saw Caleb Durward pull off some pretty fast starts yesterday. The blue didn't slow him down, or last week, rather.
Last week.
The blue didn't slow him down too much. He could just go turn 1 to Coddle, turn 2, you know, they still have the Zoo start and then back it up with some like mental misstep for the
Turn 1 to
spell.
Coddle, mental misstep your card, play Grim Levelmancer.
Yeah,
I love the
exactly.
start. So we're starting off again with the Noble Hierarch. His hand looks very blue.
Huh. Dabba-dee dabba-die. Alright.
And Conley does have a Stoneforge Mystic, a Path to Exile.
Oh, 2 cards you definitely want to see there. There's the Dryad Arbor.
Which was a land this game.
For now. And there's a Wild Nikotl. And he's going to serve in for 1 with the Noble Hierarch. Wild Nikotl currently a 1/1.
Are you sure? I think, isn't that a green-white land?
Oh, I thought that was a green-blue land. Is that green-white? It looks, sorry, I think it is.
Yeah,
Savannah.
so it is a 2/2.
It's a 2/2. My mistake. I thought it was a...
I wish it was.
Tropical
That'd be
Islands.
really funny to see 1/1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last week, like I said, Caleb did that multiple times. Turn 1, Wild Nikotl off. Even fetching Tropical Islands.
Yeah.
So,
It makes sense if your other land you want to be is a plateau.
Right. I mean, that's how you're going to sequence your lands. It makes sense. Looks like Colin's going to crack his land here, likely going for a turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic. Is Colin going to Brainstorm?
He might be pathing it. No, I don't see him pathing end of turn.
And can't quite. So it looks like Conley's. I think he still has Force in his deck. I think I saw a Force there.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the blue Dylan McDonald deck changes the calculation a little bit. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, there's Stoneforge Mystic as expected. Goes to get Batter Skull, I would imagine. And now it's the onus is on Dylan McDonald to find a way to deal with the Mystic.
And that has to happen, or Batterskull's just going to take this over. Oh, he's going straight for Feast and Famine.
Maybe already has Batter Skull in his hand. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Or maybe he just thinks that Feast and Famine is going to be more important.
Yeah, it's true. If his plan is just to strip Dylan McDonald of his cards, that could definitely work out. So, Stoneforge Mystic finds Feast and Famine.
Oh no, I do see the Batterskull.
Okay, yeah. He just has Batter Skull in his hand, as it usually is. attacks with Wild McDonald for 3
damage. No land.
Still no red source.
And no land, so that's kind of scary. But here comes a Knight of the Reliquary.
Okay, that Knight is good. And that'll find Tower of the Magistrate if left unchecked, which can turn off that Batterskull.
That's such a sweet interaction.
So while Conley might feel safe with his Batterskull right now, what he doesn't know is Tower
So
of the
he
Magistrate.
missed a land. Do you think he just like wastelands now?
Yeah, I would just Wasteland. Wasteland, leave up mana for Batterskull? That seems insane.
Or I mean, yeah, so he does wasteland.
Do you think you hit the Arbor there or the Savannah? I think I would have hit the Savannah, but...
Yeah, I like that. I like hitting Savannah there too.
And then,
Path
the Knight. I still like hitting Savannah, but Path the Knight is a big deal. I also probably would have Path first, so I saw what land he got.
Mm-hmm. And so he didn't know that there was a wasteland coming?
Right. But I guess if you're going to hit the Dryad Arbor, it doesn't matter. If you're going to hit the Savannah, it could be more relevant. So, and if it gets a Forest, finding off that. And let's see, he has just the Forest as a basic land in his deck. That's his only basic. Anyway.
That seems pretty standard with all these colors. Alright, so Conley attacks for 1 and passes the turn back to Dylan. Dylan, you know, if Dylan draws a land and if produces blue, might have a Jace, that would be pretty backbreaking. But if not, I think we might see a Batterskull coming from Conley.
Yeah. Now Dylan needs to naturally draw that Tower of the Magistrate.
Or draw another Knight.
Yeah. Conley does have Force of Will in his hand, though, which can do a pretty good job taking care of that guy. Tarmogoyf comes down.
Tarmogoyf comes down as probably a 2-3 right now.
Let's see, we have instant,
Lands and
lands,
instants.
no creature. Oh, Dryad Arbor is a creature.
Ooh.
So,
3-4.
Creature.
The card just keeps tricking us.
Dryad Arbor is just one of the strangest cards they've printed. The card is weird. They were thinking about it for World Wake, but it just does so many weird things in the game. They were just like, we're not going to reprint this card. So Force of Will on the Jace.
Forcing the Tarmogoyf?
I think Force on Tarmogoyf is what's going on.
Interesting.
Yep. So he forces the Tarmogoyf, pitching a Jace the Mind Sculptor, no less.
It's very interesting that he was that concerned about a Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, I thought he would have saved it, but apparently he just wants to...
Especially with the Batterskull coming down?
Yeah, it seems like I would just hold the Batterskull and then use my Force to deal with whatever the problem was. But on the flip side, I guess he doesn't want Tarmogoyf to outgrow the Batterskull and render the Batterskull.
But then he has a
ineffective.
piece of him and that can just equip it to it too.
Right, agreed.
Seems really weird.
Well, that's the choice. That's the choice he made, I suppose. So, see what happens. So Dylan cracks his Misty Rainforest.
Are we going to see a Jace the Mind Sculptor? Probably not, because it has no way to protect itself.
Well, I could see Jace here potentially.
Well, if he plays Jace, it dies right away. Because he already attacked with the Wild Cattle.
Right.
You don't really want it to die.
I mean, but would you have chump blocked with the Wild McDonald? If you would, I think maybe Dylan just wants to brainstorm. It could, or he could also just +2. I guess he's attacked by mistake. Then never mind.
Yeah, then he gets attacked anyway.
So I mean, maybe he just wants to brainstorm. I don't know. Looks like Dylan's switching a sleeve there. And switching up the land. We found Plateau. Can't find that one with your Misty Rainforest. Oops. Instead, going to find Taiga. All right, much more suitable land. That one is a forest. Got to be careful with those fetch lands. And so he doesn't even have 2 blue now. So he's definitely not casting Jace.
Yeah, he's not casting Jace.
Nikado is a 3/3 there.
So he attacked and then... Did that really happen? He attacked and then...
Is it possible this is before damage? Oh, guess not.
No.
Oops. Just missed the point. I mean, I guess it happens. And Ancient... So he brought... Dylan did bring in as the Ancient Grudges. I don't think Conley expected that. No. I mean, I didn't expect that. Usually they can protect that pretty well, but... And Conley has Force Will in his hand. He couldn't...
And he just drew another Stoneforge that doesn't get anything.
Right, now his Stoneforges are dead, unless Conley brought in that Sword of Fire and Ice. Oh, maybe Conley brought in the Sword of Fire and Ice.
Oh, that might change.
Oh, he's going so fast, maybe he missed it. Oh, no, he did. He brought in the Sword of Fire and Ice.
Wow, he brought in extra equipment.
Maybe he figured Dylan would have a way to deal with his equip, so he wanted more. He knew the game might go long.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Against Jace, once again, I mean, having the Sword of Iron Ice is really nice. So,
Yeah, just protecting from the bounce effect.
yeah, the bounce effects, protecting from that is important. Does not protect from Tower of the Magistrate, however.
All right, well, so this game's looking very in Dylan's favor. He's got the aggressive creatures, and Conley's already down to 7 life by taking his own points of life and also being attacked by this thing all game.
Right. Yeah, all those dings from fetch lands and Force of Will can really start to add up.
And Lightning Bolt kills him.
And that's it for Conley Woods.
All right, so we are going to game 3.
All right, so Conley will be on the play this time. So if you boarded out of Stifles, I think we might see those again here.
Yeah, since he's on the play.
Mind Sensor, probably not, but Stifle is still something he could have in the situation.
Yeah.